I still remember the day I walked into the Westin Langkawi Resort and Spa, Langkawi, filled with excitement and anticipation. I had heard so much about this luxurious getaway, and I couldn't wait to unwind and rejuvenate. But, little did I know, my dream vacation was about to turn into a nightmare. As I approached the check-in counter, I was greeted with a smile. Or so I thought. The staff seemed distracted, and it took them an eternity to process my registration. I was exhausted from my journey, and all I wanted was to collapse onto my bed. But, no, they had to keep me waiting for what felt like an hour. And when I finally got to my room, I was shocked to find that it was a far cry from the luxurious oasis I had envisioned. The room was spacious, I'll give them that. But, it was old and needed maintenance. The TV didn't work properly, and the fridge was broken. I mean, what's the point of having a minibar if it doesn't even chill your drinks? And don't even get me started on the bed. It was like sleeping on a cloud, but not in a good way. The mattress was so soft that I sank into it, and the pillows were flat and lumpy. I felt like I was sleeping on a deflated balloon. But, I thought to myself, maybe the amenities will make up for the subpar room. Oh, how wrong I was. The beach was nice, I'll admit. The sand was soft, and the waves were calming. But, the pool was dirty, and the common areas were poorly maintained. I mean, who wants to lounge around in a dirty pool? It's like they didn't care about the health and safety of their guests. And then, there was the food. Oh, the food. It was like they were trying to torture me. The pizza was bland and tasteless, and the desserts were uninspiring. I mean, who serves plain fruit for breakfast? Where was the creativity? The presentation? The flavor? It was like they were serving me cardboard. And don't even get me started on the coffee. It was like they were trying to wake me up with a heart attack. But, what really took the cake was the service. The staff was robotic and lacked warmth. They seemed like they were just going through the motions, without any passion or enthusiasm. I mean, who doesn't smile when they're serving guests? It's like they were trained to be unfriendly. And when I asked for some cut fruit to take to my room, they flatly refused. I mean, what's the point of having a fruit platter if you can't even take some with you? It's like they didn't care about my needs. I was so disappointed with my stay at the Westin Langkawi Resort and Spa, Langkawi. It was like they didn't care about their guests at all. They didn't care about our comfort, our safety, or our happiness. All they cared about was taking our money and giving us subpar service. I mean, who does that? It's like they were scamming us, taking advantage of our trust and our hard-earned cash. I felt like I was in some kind of twisted dream, where the hotel was just a facade, a front for something more sinister. I mean, who would do this to people? It's like they were trying to ruin our vacations, our memories, our lives. And for what? So they could line their pockets with our money? It's just not right. As I sat in my room, feeling miserable and disappointed, I couldn't help but think about all the other guests who must have had the same experience. I mean, how many people had they scammed? How many memories had they ruined? It's like they were running a scam, a massive, intricate scam, and we were all just pawns in their game. I felt so angry, so frustrated, so helpless. I mean, what could I do? I was stuck in this dump, with no way out. I was trapped in this never-ending cycle of disappointment and frustration. And to think, I had been so excited to come here. I had been so looking forward to this vacation. But, as I sat there, feeling sorry for myself, I realized something. I realized that I wasn't alone. I wasn't the only one who had been scammed, who had been disappointed, who had been frustrated. There were others out there, others who had been through the same thing. And that's when it hit me. I was going to expose them. I was going to tell the world about my horrible experience at the Westin Langkawi Resort and Spa, Langkawi. I was going to make sure that no one.
Let's talk about the businesses surrounding the Westin Langkawi Resort and Spa. Honestly, it's disheartening. It feels like a collection of missed opportunities, a shadow of what a tourist destination should be. The overall impression, based on what people have experienced, is one of pervasive disappointment. It's not that everything is actively terrible, but a general sense of carelessness and, frankly, a bit of opportunistic behavior seems to permeate the area. Prepare yourselves, because this isn't a glowing report. Let's start with what you find when you're simply looking for a place to shop, a mall. The area's malls, exemplified by Langkawi Parade, aren't really malls. They're more like echoes of malls, hollow shells of what you'd expect. It feels like someone thought about building a mall, maybe even started, but then lost interest halfway through. People consistently describe a limited selection of shops, a sense of emptiness, and a general lack of cleanliness. It's like wandering through a forgotten dream. But it's not just the sparse selection, it's the underlying feeling of dishonesty. Several accounts point to issues with cashiers, attempts to shortchange customers, a deliberate, calculated deception. It's unsettling. You go on vacation to relax, not to meticulously count your change after buying a suitcase. There's also the bizarre issue of closing times. Apparently, shops will simply decide to shut down early, regardless of posted hours, leaving bewildered tourists stranded with half-closed doors. It's a strange, almost defiant disregard for customer expectations. And it appears the management, if they even notice, seem to lack basic people skills. One reviewer mentioned lights being switched off while customers were still inside, during what should have been operating hours. A darkness descends upon these establishments, isn't it strange? It is not a friendly darkness. Then we have Heavenly Spa by Westin. Now, one expects a certain level of pampering from a spa attached to a resort like the Westin. What people report, though, is far from that. There seems to be a fundamental breakdown in the booking process. Reservations are forgotten, leading to disappointment and frantic scrambling to find alternative appointments. The experience isn't consistent either. Some therapists are good, some aren't. The facials, specifically, are consistently described as rushed and underwhelming, a mere series of hot and cold towels that you could easily replicate at home. For the price point, it's deeply frustrating. And then there's the matter of money. Several accounts mention discrepancies, funds taken without explanation, promised refunds never materializing. A cold feeling crawls up my spine when I read those. A feeling of mistrust, a feeling that they may be taking money from the innocent. It's not just about the money, it's the principle. It's the violation of trust. Let's talk about food. India Palace restaurant consistently receives scathing reviews. The waiting times are excessive, an hour for a simple order is apparently commonplace. When the food finally arrives, it's often cold, poorly prepared, or just plain unappetizing. The ingredients seem tired. People report plastic-like veneer, uncooked food, and incredibly salty dishes. But it's the service that seems to sting the most. A deeply unsettling pattern emerges of preferential treatment based on ethnicity. Reports of attentive service to Western tourists while Indian customers are ignored, dismissed, or treated with outright rudeness. My heart aches at this. It's a subtle but insidious form of discrimination. The staff seem to walk around with a palpable air of unhappiness, which does not inspire confidence. Some people mention plastic plates, and plastic cups. The indignity. And don't even ask for rice with your masala, apparently, that's an extra charge, even though it's standard practice everywhere else, including, ironically, in India itself. Then there's smiling Buffalo Cafe. It looks inviting, but appearances, as they say, can be deceiving. A common complaint is the persistent fly problem. Flies buzzing around your food, landing on your table. It's unhygienic and frankly, disgusting. The service is notoriously slow, even for a casual cafe. And the food itself is frequently described as mediocre, overpriced, and underwhelming. Staff seem indifferent, uncaring if you enjoy your meal or not. One review mentions the ceiling fans not working, making the cafe unbearably hot. It's a cascade of small failures that add up to a deeply disappointing experience. It's a place that feels like it's resting on its past reputation, content to coast on tourists. Sigh. So, I was looking into scams near the Westin Langkawi Resort and Spa, Langkawi, you know? Like, tourists think it's all paradise. But, yeah. Let me tell you. Businesses near the Westin Langkawi Resort and Spa, Langkawi. They're nice, but some get tricked so bad. Like, last year, shops in Quan Shenang, just a short drive from the resort, got hit with fake money. Can you believe it? Fake RM100 notes. Tourists probably didn't even know, just handing cash over for souvenirs or food, and then, oops, the shop realizes later. And now the poor tourist looks suspicious, even though they didn't do anything. Ugh. Police caught 7 people, some with drug problems, some with past crimes, using these fake notes. Like, why? Just why? They got arrested, but imagine being the tourist who unknowingly got fake money from an ATM or somewhere else, then tried to pay with it. The shopkeeper gets mad, maybe calls security. And now your vacation is stressed. I bet some tourists just walked away, embarrassed, not even knowing what happened. And the scammers? Probably back to it after jail, because, yeah. Then there's Sigh, the usual stuff near tourist spots like the Westin Langkawi Resort and Spa, Langkawi. Not scams, but close. Like, some stores might accidentally shortchange you, especially if you're not counting. Or they swap your real money for fake when you're not looking. It's so obvious, but they do it anyway. And if you're a tourist, rushing, excited, not paying attention, boom. Fewer ringgit in your pocket. I just hate it. You come here to relax, and people do this? Like, how hard is it to just not scam? Ugh. Anyway. Yeah. That's what happens near the Westin Langkawi Resort and Spa, Langkawi. Be careful, okay?